So there is one question, write a short note on law as necessary evil. Okay, so law as necessary evil. So what is law as necessary evil? Like we see, right, certain things are needed in the society, but also they are having their disadvantages also. Like we say television is something which we need, but then television comes with its own demerits or disadvantages. Same ways it happens for laws also. We cannot say complete no to laws, but again, law is something like a necessary evil. We need it also, but there are some evil consequences might be attached along with laws. Okay, so Plato to Marx argued that law is an evil thing which mankind wants to get rid of itself. So Plato to Marx, many jurists, they believe that law is something which we do not want to exist amongst us, but rather we want to get rid of laws. But human history and experience shows that law is a great civilizing force in human society. But our experiences have shown that without laws, it's very difficult to maintain order in the society. Right? So human experience, also the history has shown that law is something which we need for maintenance of harmony in the society, for maintenance of order in the society. The growth of society is linked with the gradual development of the system of legal rules and the machinery to enforce them. So, as society has progressed, we have seen laws are also increasing, number of laws are also increasing. Initially there were no laws, people used to be self-regulated. Then we had the need to introduce some laws, right? And gradually with time we realized that maybe this sort of a law also we need, that sort of a law also we need. Like that it has started to increase. And when we talk about laws, we also need enforcement mechanism. Like we have courts, but then it was realized that courts are overburdened. So we have different tribunals, committees, commission, different bodies are also evolving with time, along with different laws coming into picture. Laws are not found in vacuum but found alongside moral code. It's not like laws are just passed simply like that, but it is found alongside moral code. What is right, what should actually happen in this kind of a situation, based on that we try to develop the laws. So whatever laws are developed, it tries to see whether it's providing justice or not, whether the law is fair or not, fair for all the parties, that we try to see. Okay, like there is something called as hear both the sides. When a case is filed, we say hear both the sides. As in, you should not give a decision in a certain case by hearing only one of the parties to the case. Okay, because in that situation, your decision might be biased towards that person. Okay, has it ever happened to you? Maybe two of your friends fought with each other. Okay, two of your friends fought with each other, and one of them comes to you and tells you about the story, why they fought. The person tells you the story, and you feel that okay, fine, this other person is very wrong, this person is right, and that other person is wrong, he has not done the right thing. But later on, when the second friend also comes to you and narrates the story, you feel like who is right? You get confused. Who is right actually? Has it ever happened to you like that? Two friends or maybe two persons, they fought and then they narrate the story to you, and
Yes.
it has happened, right? Why that happens? Because they will tell their side of the story, right? They will try to portray themselves as correct. So if you hear one of the sides, you will feel like yes, this person is like the one who has suffered and this person is a very bad person, right? And you might give a decision in his favor. So the same thing applies in cases also. In cases, if you hear only one of the parties, then your decision will be completely biased towards that person. But when you hear both the sides will try to give justifications, reasoning, etc. There only you can arrive at the right decision, right? So that's why we have this as a rule itself, that hear both the sides. By hearing one of the parties, you cannot give a decision. Okay, do you remember that Mumbai Taj Hotel attack?
Yes, ma'am.
You remember, right? And who was the
Yes.
person involved there? Do you remember his name?
Name is Asim
Azmal Kasaf, right? He was given
or
death
something.
penalty. He was given death penalty. So it was very much well evident, even before the case was filed, it was very much well evident that he is the one who has done that act. Right? It was very much clear. But even in such a case, it would not be like, okay, he only has done it, so let's punish him. It's not like that. Even in that case, this principle was followed. Here, both the sides. Even he was given opportunity to represent himself. He was given a fair hearing also, and in order to make arrangements for that, government had to spend a lot of money to keep him safe in the prison, because a lot of people were uh, like they were burning in anger, right? They might do something to him, so government had to spend a lot of money to keep him safe until the trial was over. But still that was done because we follow this rule. Here both the side, even when everything is very crystal clear, even then you should give chance to the other party to represent his point. Okay, so this is nothing but that law should be fair and it should be just for both the parties. As per the supporters of natural law school, law has developed out of nature. People have an inherent tendency to differentiate between right and wrong, and law took its shape based on needs of the society. People were anyways having this ability of differentiating. Along with that, we felt the need to have some laws. So gradually, laws developed like that. However, instances from history also reflect that law may be used as an instrument of tyranny as well. Sometimes it might happen that laws are introduced by a person and then the person is not following it, or maybe laws are binding on the common people but law is not binding on the king. Like that, we have seen problems also. It's not like law is introduced means all the problems are solved. That does not happen in all the situations. As per the supporters of positive law theory, law law has not as such developed that with time we realize it developed out of its own. It's not like that. But law was consciously created by people, and it was created by politically superior for politically inferior. When we talk about politically superior, in earlier times it will be the kings or queens. So kings or queens passed the laws, or they said that this is what is going to be binding. And laws would be binding on the common people, but king and queen, they are not supposed to follow the laws. Okay, so according to them, law is command of the sovereign backed by sanction. If you do not follow it, you will have to face consequences. You don't have the option of selecting, I want to follow or I don't want to follow the law. It is binding on you. Thus, when laws are framed keeping in mind welfare of majority, they tend to serve the purpose as well. However, if ruler frames law to establish a dictatorship, those laws bring difficulty and suffering to common men. If we say that okay, law is something which we are deriving from the sovereign, maybe king has given some laws, those laws are applicable to everybody else, but not the king. In such cases, king might become dictator. He would feel like, okay, I can say whatever I feel like, and rest of the people will have to follow. So are those laws going to be proper or not in such a case? In that case, it might be dictatorship. The person, whatever he wants, he will give some laws which might not be reasonable, which might not be fair, which might not be just also. Like that also we have seen problems arising. According to Plato, we live in an orderly universe. The basis of this orderly universe or nature are the forms, most fundamentally the form of good. Plato did not favor a state with law. So he said we actually do not need laws, but everything is regulated in itself. As per Plato, law can never prescribe with perfect accuracy what is good and right for each member of the community at a time. Because at any given point in time, we have so many different people having different interests, having different needs, facing different situations. So there cannot be one such law which would be good or which will be beneficial for everyone at the same time. The differences in human personality, variety of human activities, and restless inconsistency of all human affairs make it impossible for any art whatsoever to issue unqualified rules holding good on all questions at all the time, because there are so many differences that exist in a society. We cannot have one law that would serve all the purpose. Okay, so law is actually meaningless according to him, because the needs, the desires, the situations, everything differs at any given point in time. Everything differs from all the people that live in the society. So laws for Plato were not necessary, as they could not take into account the differences in man's personality, because you cannot even address that problem. So what is the need of laws? We do not need laws, because it's not possible that one law would serve all the purposes. So laws are not needed according to him. Marx interpreted the idea of law as invariably an instrument of class domination. He argued that the coming of classless society implied that all laws would have to disappear. So he said we need a classless society. We do not need like a ruling class and then a class which is ruled. So we do not need such sort of division, because it creates problems only. So because we do not need such sort of classes within a society, we also do not need laws. Laws should disappear from the society, so that we can this class that is created, we can remove that, we can eradicate that. Because Marx believed that law arises from class conflicts, he concluded that the need for law would cease to exist with the advent of classless communism. If there is no as such division between classes, everyone is same, in such case there will be no problem. Actually, all the problem that is created is because of this division of people in different classes. That's why this problem has arisen. So if we do not have a ruling class and a ruled class, this problem itself will not be there. So we do not require laws as such. Such a promise of lawlessness that leads to perfect justice was correctly interpreted by Kelsen as being an utopian prophecy. So he said that it's just an imaginary concept. It cannot happen that laws remove all the laws and then we will have like perfect justice. There will be no problem. Everyone will be happy, because there will be no class system as such that would prevail. So this is just like an imaginary concept that is actually not possible according to Kelsen. According to him, laws are needed. Okay, so it can be concluded that law is a necessary evil. There are both positives and negatives of it. Even though application of law may create differences, divisions, or class conflict, a society in modern times, if you take into consideration, it's definitely not possible to survive even for one day without laws. Laws are such a necessity for us that does not matter whatever problems it is leading to, but society cannot survive without laws, right? That's why we say law is nothing but a necessary evil. We need laws, does not matter how much problem it is creating in another way. Okay, is it clear?
Yes.